Welcome back to the fourth and final segment of Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio. In this segment, in our neighborhood spotlight, we're featuring Loch Highland in Roswell, Cobb County Roswell. Also, Atlanta's largest landlord was ordered to pay $23 million in restitution to tenants. Also, there was no shortage of buyers last year, but there was a shortage of opportunity in some cases, and I think that's going to be going away in 2026. Again, you're listening to Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio. I'm Cleve Gaddis. I'm a real estate broker, a real estate team leader, an agent, a licensed agent in the state of Georgia for the last 25 years. And I'm here to make real estate clear and simple and worry-free. And if you want to connect with me, it is simple. Go to gogaddisradio.com. That's GOGADDIS radio.com. You can ask questions that we answer on air or off air. You can push back if you want to. You can share ideas with us that we can then turn around and share on the radio with your permission. And you can ask us to include your neighborhood in our neighborhood spotlight, meaning ask us to do some research on your neighborhood, just like we've done for Loch Highland, so that you'll understand as a homeowner, and everybody else in the neighborhood as a homeowner will understand whether or not they have a particular advantage when it comes to selling their home in the neighborhood. You can do all of that at gogaddisradio.com, including subscribing to our podcast and to our YouTube channel. We would love for you to be a subscriber so you never miss anything that we have available. Quickly, if you're thinking of selling your home anytime in 2026, it's not too early to start having conversations about that. And even if you have a real estate agent, you're thinking, hey, this is my friend Susie or my brother or whoever it is that you're thinking of working with, I say you should get a second opinion. And I would like to suggest that Modern Traditions Realty Group be the source of that second opinion for you. We do a few things that other teams and brokerages simply do not do. Number one, we offer a program called the Upside. The upside for you is different than the upside for your neighbor, is different than the upside for your fellow employee, that is different than the upside for your sister or your brother. What's best for you is unique to you. And there are different ways to sell a home here in Metro Atlanta and across the United States. And we want to make sure that you are aware of all of those different ways to sell your home so that you can pick one that is the upside, that is the best for you. Whether you want to sell for all cash and be gone quickly, or sell your home as is, where is, not making any changes to it. Whether you want to make some improvements to your home so you can get the highest sales price possible and walk away from closing with the most amount of money, or if maybe you need to maybe you need to buy your new home before you sell your existing home, and any of those programs are covered in our Upside program. So go to gogaddisradio.com. Again, that's gogaddisradio.com. Click on the Upside. Put in a little bit of information. There's no cost, no obligation, no obligation to work with us. But we'll give you that second opinion, and who knows, we just might help you understand that the way you think you should be selling your home is not actually the way you should be selling your home. Because remember, your upside is unique to you. Again, gogaddisradio.com. Click on the Upside. Let's jump into our neighborhood spotlight. This week we are featuring Loch Highland. Loch Highland it's in Roswell, but it's Cobb County Roswell. So to me, Roswell is all in Fulton County. The mailing address goes over into Cobb County. But if you are on Highway 92, take it to Sandy Plains Road and go to the right. You'll turn left onto Wesley Chapel, and the neighborhood is on the left. Loch Highland is a beautiful, quiet community in Roswell on the Cobb County side off Wesley Chapel and Mabry Roads. It is mostly contemporary style houses, and that's one of the things that is unique about it. There's plenty of neighborhoods in Metro Atlanta that have contemporary style homes, but there's very few that are as big as Loch Highland. And it is a big, beautiful, contemporary neighborhood. Most of the homes were built in the 70s and 80s. Amenities include a lakeside clubhouse, tennis and pickleball courts with covered viewing stands, outdoor grills, 2 swimming pools and a playground, and the neighborhood is built around 2 lakes with a fishing pier and a boat dock. Mabry Park is just 5 minutes away. It's a 26.5-acre park and features a farm-themed playgrounds, trails, and a lake. Less than 10 minutes to the Northeast Cobb YMCA with basketball courts and hockey rink and a gym and a children's play center. And 10 minutes to Leisha Thompson Park and the Art Center West The amenities at Leela Thompson Memorial Park include art center, blacksmith, forge, dog park, walking and jogging trails, ponds, and a garden. And you're less than 15 minutes to the Roswell Town Square for great food and dining and entertainment. Lots of history. Also downtown Roswell, you got Barrington Hall, Bullock Hall, and Smith Plantation. They were all built in the 1800s. The houses and gardens are open for visitors to tour at their own pace. 25 minutes to downtown Marietta. For history buffs, there are 6 museums on the square. Marietta Gone with the Wind Museum, the Marietta Fire Museum, the William Root House, the Marietta Cobb Museum of Art, the Old Zion Church Heritage Museum, and the Marietta History Center. Let's take a look at what's happened in that market in Loch Highland over the last few years. And there's about 350 homes in the neighborhood, so it's a good-sized neighborhood. In 2023, there were 12 homes that sold. They took an average of 28 days from listing to contract, and the average sales price was $645,867. $645,867. In 2024, there were 11 homes sold, just one less. Took an average of 28 days again. Average sales price went up $30,000 to $679,000. Now 2025 is a slightly different story. More homes sold, 19 homes sold in an average of 38 days, so it took 10 days longer to get a home under contract, and the average sales price dropped about $60,000 to $612,242. If we look at the prices in 2020, however, the average sales price in the neighborhood was $420,641. So look at that $612,000. That is a nice, good bit of appreciation over the last few years. Currently, there are 6 homes available for sale in the neighborhood. They are listed at an average list price of $687,333. They range from a low list price of $560,000 to a high list price of $839,000. In the last 365 days, there have been 19 homes that sold and closed, which means based on 19 closings in 365 days, it would take 3.78 months to sell 6 homes. Now, if you have less than 4 months worth of inventory, we consider that a seller's market, so sellers have an advantage. If you have 4 and 5 months worth of inventory, we consider that a balanced market, so neither party really has an advantage. And if you have more than 5 months worth of inventory, we consider that a buyer's market. If we look at the average sales price in the neighborhood in 2012 of $242,000, and we compare that to the $612,000 sales price set in 2025, total neighborhood equity has increased $153 million. $153 million. People ask all the time, why do you talk about homeowner equity increases? Because I think it's one of the larger sources of wealth, of net worth of people in the United States of America. I forget, recently over the last year, I saw a Federal Reserve study that said the average net worth of a renter was $10,000 or $12,000 or $15,000, whatever it was. And this is not to be disparaging to renters, but the average net worth of a homeowner was approaching $400,000, maybe even a little over $400,000. And that is a significant difference. I want to jump into an interesting article. One of Metro Atlanta's largest landlords was ordered to pay $23 million in restitution. Federal regulators have announced that Greystar, one of the largest landlords in Metro Atlanta, misled tenants about rental cost and has agreed to pay $23,000 in restitution. The Federal Trade Commission has issued an order requiring Greystar to clearly disclose the actual price of rent, including any fees and its apartment buildings. My daughter rented an apartment near Sloan's Lake in Denver recently, and I'm not saying this was managed by Greystar, but it was the same thing. There were just fees upon fees upon fees. And so the rent they quoted in the first place and the rent that the lease said was not ultimately what needed to be paid on a monthly basis. And this decision affects dozens of Greystar properties across Atlanta, including locations in Brookhaven and Midtown. A consumer investigator said they don't tell you up front how much you're actually going to be charged. A Georgia Tech student says her monthly bill is crammed with charges she never even expected. The director of the Bureau of Consumer Protection of the FTC explained that Greystar's advertising practices involved drip pricing, where the total cost was not disclosed up front but revealed at the end of the leasing process. The price that was advertised was not the actual final price. The FTC ordered Ordered bars Greystar from hiding monthly costs going forward. Greystar had 58 buildings in the Atlanta area, and when Channel 2 Action News checked, they're now showing the total monthly price, including all of the mandatory monthly cost. They said that should be very, very helpful in making a light comparison to one product over another product. As part of the agreement, Greystar does not admit wrongdoing, but says in a statement that the order enhances transparency. The chairman of the FTC has also ordered staff to write a rule covering all landlords and requiring transparent pricing, just like the agency has done with concert tickets. Another note of something that is going into effect regarding landlords is if you are an out-of-state landlord, you must have a local representative physically present in the state of Georgia. I believe that law went into effect on January the 1st of 2026. I don't know about you, but I think that's a pretty good rule. And I think that's not really directed at the individual landlords. If I had to guess, I imagine that's directed more at the institutional. Not everybody's affected, but it's directed at the institutional landlords that may have offices in New York, and the tenants here in Metro Atlanta seem to feel like nobody cares about their particular property. Last year was frustrating, and a lot of people felt like they were hitting roadblocks. The reality is, I think 2026, especially the first half of 2026, is going to be an amazing opportunity for home sellers and buyers. First, for buyers, because I think there will be more inventory coming on the market. I think there's a lot of people who feel like they've been stuck long enough, and they are absolutely positively ready to move on with life. I appreciate you listening to another week's edition of Go Gaddis Real Estate Radio. We help listeners go from real estate novice to expert, so home selling and buying can be done with total confidence and without all the worry that is typical with life's biggest investments. We don't want you to learn anything at closing or after that you should have learned before. We'll be back same time, same channel next week. Have a great week, Atlanta.